Whoa, that's a bit out. That's a bit wrong. Let's try and get that in the right place. Whoa. Good evening, good evening, good evening. That's still whoa there. Yeah, I think I've just whacked that while I was trying to sort some stuff out. That will have to do. That'll have to do. Oh, I can't twist around. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. I hope that you are well this evening. It's Monday, the 19th of January. Where's the month going? It's disappearing fast. Tonight we are back with some more PSR lobby races. Sorry, I'm checking all sorts of stuff at the moment. I had a small technical issue which I just had to sort out. I think we're all sorted. I think we're all ready to rumble. I'm just checking to make sure that the microphone and everything is okay. Hopefully you can see and hear me okay. We are back with some lobby racing tonight for PSR Registered Racers. We're also welcoming the TCSRL guys because Rita is postponed her racing this week due to some health issues. So we could have a few extra people now. I can see Mitchell's in already. So good evening to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, I've just extended our racing lobby to the TCSRL guys just as a courtesy. In the chat, loads of people. Gamer Dan is in. I did run out a few gifted memberships that I'm able to do. So they've gone out. I can see the Borky is in. I hope that everything is well your side of the pond and things are improving with some bits and pieces over there. Elise said about the politics, the better. I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about something else that Borky will be aware of. So yeah, hoping that everything is going well with you, my friend. Greg White is in. Good evening. And Ollie as well. Ollie, we've got the BMW on the shelf again. Good evening, good evening, good evening to you. Number one Pops is in. Greg's in. Tom is in. Good evening. Andrat Fury. Everybody's jumping in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you this evening. So what are we doing? We're going to be doing, well, there were a few liveries that went out over the weekend. And I thought, oh, let's just pick up some of those cars today. So I need to get back into the randomizer, but for the moment doing some odd bits and pieces. So we've got the VW Golf GTI, the 2014 model, 6 laps around the Nurbergring sprint track, which I want to get out and do very quickly because it's not a track that we do very often. Then we're going to be heading off to Sardegna Sea in reverse in the Mazda 3. And then Grand Valley Highway South in the Suzuki. So that's the Suzuki Swift GR4. And then we'll be heading off into the Volkswagen VGT. So effectively the GR3 car around the Nordschleife to finish up this evening. So will be interesting to see if Willie and or Hulky are in tonight and whether they're running their new liveries that they was showing off in the Discord, and that's something I might do a little bit more often now.
Thank you for leaving my bedroom door open.
Oh, he's not, has he? Oh, guys, I'll be back in a second. Oh, sorry about that. That's a dog jumping on the beds. He's not allowed to do that. And yeah, we got Coda back now, so forgive me. I just had to go and sort him out. Yeah, so yeah, some people are doing liveries at the moment on cars, and I thought it might be quite nice to give those people an opportunity to run those cars. So Holly says naughty, naughty. Exactly. Ollie's got a surprise for me. Oh, wonder what that is. I wonder what Ollie's. He's come out with a pink car. Is that the surprise? Is that the surprise? It's going to be the pink car, I guess. Right, where are we? I am going to just let everybody know that we'll get the qualifier underway at 10 past as usual for this one. And then I do want to get out on track just to see how we go. Tom's just saying a nice livery for number one Pops. So number one Pops. Oh yeah, he's got the black and the gold one. I like that. Looks subtle, but a nice livery. Looking nice. Right. How much I am going to be able to race tonight, I don't know. It will depend on my back and how I'm feeling. Hoping to do a couple of races, and then when I've had enough, I will stop, and then we'll be doing some commentaries. And once again, thank you to everybody that has been commenting on the commentaries, and quite a few of you have been enjoying those. I enjoy them too. And from the lumbar puncture, I still feel like I've been kicked in the back, but it is a lot better than it was. Oh, it's raining. Tell you what that means. Let me just double check that I have got rain tyres, because I do have rain tyres. Oh, that's all right then. That's okay. It's good. Let's just get back out on track. Yeah, still feels like I've been kicked in the back from the lumbar puncture, but it is getting better. Had a much better day today, which is good. Whoa. Looks like we are into intermediate tyres already. This is a road car. I should have put it on sports tyres, shouldn't I, really? Rather than the racing tyres. Wasn't quite expecting it to be this wet. Okay, that's going to catch a few people out. What do we qualify on? We've got just under a minute to go. Let's just get round and then I'll quickly through who's racing in this one. I'm going to assume that this practice session is going to give us some idea of what the quali is going to be like. There's Gamer Dan parked up. I see you, my friend. Okay, right, so, oh yeah, going to be interesting. Yeah, it should be okay. I'm going to go with the racing soft tyres to start with, and if it's wrong, then I'll just have to do whatever. So for the first one, we've got Greg White, Gamer Dan, Ollie, me, Borky, Number One, Mitchell, and Galactical. 8 runners in this one to start off with. Once again, the numbers are a little bit light for the stream, but that does seem to be the way that things are with Gran Turismo at the moment. Quite a few streams are light, and my numbers are down a little bit on the stream, but I am going to be getting into PMR as well as Gran Turismo, but only once I am fit and healthy. So I had a few people asking me about PMR, a few people asking me about daily races. Yes, all of that's still on the wish list, and it seems to be every time I get myself sorted, something happens. And once I am sorted out, we will be getting back into those races. On Wednesday, I am hoping to be doing the manufacturers. I've dropped to second in my region because I couldn't do the Saturday race, which is my big problem with the manufacturers, is doing weekend races. Oh, I can't bip my horn back because I've disabled my horn. So I will need to get a little bit of practice in for Wednesday's race and just see if I can get that done during the day at some point. I don't even know where Wednesday's race is. We will have to have a look at some point and see what we've got to do, and just see if we can do a little bit better. I don't expect to do overly well in the championship because I'm only doing half the races, but it is my first sort of foray into those proper. We'll see how we go. Racers Edge, good evening. Just a little bit deep into that corner. Lots of traction through there is going to cost me some time. See Dan just up ahead at the moment. He's too far away to use him as a ghost car, so we'll just have to do our own thing. Being chased by the car behind though. The power nice and early. Hopefully we'll get another shot at this one. Whoa. Down set at 140.4. That's the time we're chasing. And I've got a 143.8. So massively off the pace. Again, losing traction and sliding is going to cost me time. Not sure whether that has cost time. We'll find out in a moment. We're up a bit on the previous lap. It's still way down on Dan. Oh, no, no, no. Need to straight line that through there a little bit more. Whoa, big slide into there too. I think sector 3 is going to cost me badly. Yeah, it did. 2.2 seconds off of Dan. Ollie, half a second off of Dan, showing that Dan is very, very quick. Greg White, only 0.4 off of Dan. So Dan really flying in this this particular car. It is a one-make race, this one, so it's all about the driver in these races tonight. We've got set cars again this evening, all one makes, and all about the driver. So we've got Gamer Dan is going to be leading us away with Greg White just 0.4 behind, and then 0.5 behind Ollie, Borky 2.2, then me 2.6. Galacticor is still running at the moment. Mitchell is 11 seconds back, so Mitchell struggling a little bit in this one, and number one is also running. So let's see if Galacticor and number one can do anything in this. And Ollie's just congratulating Dan on a mega lap, and it was a very, very, very good lap indeed. Dan does seem to be completely on it at the moment, always there or thereabouts. We'll see what we can do in this one. So a few seconds before we finish up, and Tom has come in sixth at the moment. So number one is the only one that can upset things towards the front at the moment. Can he go quicker? Dan was looking at a 1:39.8, but he messed up. A 1:39.8. Oh, that would be quick. That would be quick. Very quick indeed. So I'm not quite sure when number one's finished up. Oh, Hulky didn't quite reach us. He's just joined. But let's get this one underway, and we'll see how we go. Hopefully, Hulky will be able to join us in the next race. So here we go. Good luck, everybody. Okay, usual false start. Put the old radar on. Let's see what we can do. Oh, slow reaction time. It felt slow, but it looked like it was okay actually. Car up the inside, need to leave some room. Oh, broke traction again. Oh, 1 second penalty for that corner. That hurts. And 1 second for first infringement. Quite clearly, these marshals not happy tonight. Right, let's chase down Mitchell. Braking traction again. That feels awfully high up there. Don't cut this again now, Mitchell. Let's see if I can stay with Mitchell just in front. Just half a second ahead of me at the moment. Come on, get round, get round, get round. Lap 2 of 6 this one. Might have just picked up a slipstream. We need to straight line this one. Was better. Mitchell got a better run out of there than I did. Oh, Mitchell and I both breaking traction there. It was an opportunity for me to close up, but I broke traction as well at the same time. Oh, Mitchell's got the half second now. Let's just see if I can stay with him. He is going to be getting that penalty, so we can't really work together, which is a real shame. Million miles down the road. Oh, why is Greg in the pits, I wonder? I haven't got a pit thingy on, have I? Ollie down the line, down the road. Or are they pitting for the tyres? Whoa, big old slide through there. Right, can we get round quickly enough? That is the risk that we've got at the moment. So we've got a couple of guys have already dived in. I think we'll go this time. Let's see how dark grey it's getting. Big question is which tyres, inters or wets. We'll go for the inters, I think. Don't need to refuel. Dan and Ollie are in. Mitchell's in too. So we're all diving in as the rain starts to come down. The big question is, did the guys that pit earlier, they got the jump on us? Or did the extra lap help? We'll have to see as the rain does start to come down. We're going to get those intermediate tyres on. Windscreen wipers on now. Headlights blaring. Oh, this rain is coming down now. I'm going to assume everybody is now on the intermediate or the wet tyres. Which are the right ones to be on? in 6th at the moment. Greg is 6.7 down the road. So quite some significant way. Everybody else, I mean, number 1 is 13 seconds down the road. Getting out into the gravel there didn't help. We're borderline wet weather tyres now. Mitchell's 2.2 behind. Borky's in. That's going to take us up to 5th, but now 12 seconds behind the guys. Guys up front are absolutely flying. I didn't think I was particularly that slow, but compared to those guys up front, I am absolutely crawling. Nearly 20 seconds ahead, and I've got Mitchell's chasing me at the moment. There's cars all over the place on these tyres. Mitchell's got me down to 2 seconds at the moment. To Greg in front. A lovely little battle between the 4 guys up front. They are covered by a few seconds. Ooh. The grass. Oh, Ollie got the win on this one. Some 20 seconds down the road. I think some studying of lap times needs to be done on my part, if I'm honest. But close up front, Ollie and Dan, just 0.4 between them. Look at that. And then number 1 just 1.7 behind, and then Greg 5.2. But the 2 guys out front, Dan and Ollie, what a race. What a race out front. All about being on the right tyres at the right time. I thought I changed the tyres at the right time on that one, but still significantly off the pace. So quite clearly there is a right and a wrong way to run those that car around there. We'll see how we go. Mitchell Martinez, thank you for popping in. Thank you for popping in and saying hello. Hope you're well. Ollie's saying, for some corners when I was slow in the wet, but it did look like a good race up front. Rita, good evening. Hope you're feeling a little bit better today. Your result, Ollie, with a 140.083. And then Gamer Dan in second with a 1:40.133. So very close between those two for the fastest lap. And Greg wasn't too far away from there. Number one Pops, a 1:45.039. But doing well to get that third place, the last podium place. Just goes to show, just when the rain comes, you never know quite what's going to happen. But Greg White in fourth. I got fifth, Mitchell sixth, Galacticor seventh, and Borky in eighth. Your top three for the start, Ollie, Dan, and number one Pops. Right, who else is going to be in a pink car tonight? Right, now we start stepping it up a little bit. We've got a slightly longer race this one. This is a 10-lapper because we're in a GL4 car, but it is a short track. So I've gone for a 10-lapper in this one. And we're going to be in the Suzuki Swift. No, we're not. We're in the Mazda. We're in the Mazda. We're in the Mazda for this one. Get it right, Mitchell. No, I don't want to. Oh. Car settings is what I'm looking for. That's good. Yep. So we're in the Mazda for this one. Number one Pop saying the strategy worked. I'm going to have a look and see what your strategy was because, like I said, the lap time wasn't particularly quick, but boy, the strategy worked. Oh, Ollie in another pink car. I think he's going to be pink, pink, pink tonight. Pinkity, pink, pink, pink tonight. He is. Right, is Hulky going to jump into his new livery? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. This is the reason why we've gone with these cars this evening. And he has. This is Hulky's new livery. The yellow and the green. I believe he's got the same for the Suzuki that we're going to be doing in a moment. Unfortunately, Wheels didn't join us for the first one. I think Wheels have got a VW livery, which is the livery I used for the thumbnail for this one. But what we'll do is we'll start the qualifier at 35 for this one. And we'll see how we go. Ollie says, pink cars 1-0, Mitch. Oh, is it like that, is it? It's like that, is it? Okay. Right, I didn't realise that that was the game we were playing tonight. That said, there is no way Jose I'm going to keep up with Ollie. He's way too quick for me. I'm also racing with a soft brake pedal that I'm still getting used to. I don't like, because I like to push 50% on my back and brake pedal into these corners. I really feel the brake pedal, and at the moment, can't really do that because I'm braking with only a small amount of pressure on my back. So it is a bit alien, and I'm not making excuses. It's genuine. Basically what I've done is I've moved my brake pedal now so that when I pushed 90%, that will be 100% braking, and I've reduced that right the way down to 60%. So if I'm pushing my brake pedal half distance, it's registering 100 in game. So you can probably imagine that that takes some getting used to. And you'll find sometimes I'm taking a double stab at the brake as well. I'll be glad when I can get that put back to how I normally have it. Whoa. Ourselves on these curbs. Right, it is 35. Let's see where we're at. So we got Greg White, Gamer Dan, Ollie, me, Hulky, Borky, number one Mitchell, Galacticor, and Stiggy is just joining. Is Stiggy going to tick in? Hopefully he is, and we'll get going. Let me just have a little drink. I do need to keep drinking. Might be getting myself a special water bottle, by the way. Oh, is Stiggy joining us? Or is he just watching? Ah, Stiggy's watching. No worries. No worries, Stiggy. That's absolutely fine. Right, let's start the qualifying. So we've got Greg, Gamer Dan, Ollie, me, Hulky, Borky, Number One, Mitchell, and Galacticor. Just want to wish Rita a very speedy recovery. I noticed that she is watching. She is resting, thankfully, at the moment, and hoping that she's going to be getting better very soon. And also a few other people that I know that have got some health issues at the moment. My thoughts and wishes are with you for speedy recoveries, guys. There does seem to be 2026 has been a rough old start for a few of us. I never thought I would be including myself in that statement, but unfortunately I am. I'm hoping to do this race, and whether I'll get the next one done or not, I don't know. But the Nords, I think I'm probably going to be commentating on. I do want to get back to racing proper. I want to get back into the daily races. I want to see what they've done with PMR over the Christmas period. I've not even looked at it since before Christmas. I've also got a number of videos to put together. I've got loads of World Circuit races that I need to do. Some of those are very straightforward and easy races to do, and it's just a case of just doing them and producing the video for the sake of just having all of the races on the string. But some of them will be a little bit more taxing, a little bit more difficult. I'm not sure who that is behind me, but they're blooming quick. Who is that? Oh, it's Greg. I might have known. I'm caught between I'm like the cheese in a fast racer sandwich, except I'm not the fast racer. Ollie's fastest, look, 57.5. I told you there was not much opportunity of me catching Ollie, and it's probably going to wind up 4-0 at the end of this. Unless something unusual happens, like he crashes bad, and I have an unbelievably good race. We will have another couple of laps just to see if we can reduce that down a little bit, but we're not going to do that if we're off on the grass. Dirty tyres now. Ollie a 1:57.125 and the fastest lap at the moment. Oh, we just caught the wall again. There, so it's on the grass and into the wall whilst we're trying to push on. That's going to be on the grass as well. So we can write this one off. Greg White with a 57.5. Dan with a 57.6. So awfully close. Half a second between the top three at the moment. I wonder if Greg is going to go faster and Dan's going to go quicker. Find a little bit more. Just close that gap to Ollie, or whether Ollie is going to continue to find a little bit more. Got a 58.3. Again, over a second slower at the moment. A lot of this is about getting out of that bottom corner quickly. Can we get over the line to get another one? No, we won't. Oh, where are we? We're at 6th at the moment. And I'm not sure I'm going to stay there. I'm not. Mitchell demotes me down to 7th. And I could drop yet further. Mitchell in 4th now. Wow, that's a good lap. Borky 5th. And at the moment, Dan is still running. So Dan could displace Ollie. Ollie's done a 57.1. And then Gr.x is 0.4 of a second off. And Dan is sitting somewhere in the middle of that. Number 1 Pops is just 0.5 of a second off. And then Mitchell 0.7. Borky 8. Hulky is also 8. Look at that. Borky is 8.72 and Hulky 8.76, I think that was. Nothing between those guys. So this one is going to be pretty tight. But it is Ollie that is going to lead us away. Then Gamer Dan, Gr.x and number 1. So this is going to be another one of those good races. Ollie says, I have to thank Hulky for my lap. Number 1 Pops is starting from the back. Only joking. He's not. He's starting from 4th. Number 1 going well too. All right. Let's see what we can do in this one. Can we stay with the guys up front? Can I stay ahead of Mitchell or is he going to get ahead of me? Well, he's starting ahead of me. I've got Tom behind as well. Hulky's just in front, or alongside, maybe. Borky's just in front. So we've got a run on Hulky at the moment. Just trying to get up the inside of Borky. Where is the braking point for this one? Into the first corner. Oh, Dan's off on the grass. I've got a car on the inside. This is going to be a bit dodgy through here. Just going to need to tuck in behind Mitchell. Stay out of trouble for the moment. Oh. Need to get on the back of Hulky, get a toe up here. That new livery looking really good with Hulky's car. And Borky really going for it behind. Hulky just ahead of me at the moment. 10 laps in this one. So we've got some time, but I can't let Hulky get too far away from me. Try and stay with him up the hill. Borky and Dan still behind, battling away. Looks like Borky's got the upper hand at the moment. Just trying to put Hulky under a bit of pressure. Now Hulky is using the bonnet cam, sorry, the roof cam at the moment, so he's not got the benefit of the mirror. It's a camera that I want to get used to using, but I'm finding it to be very high. I like the lower down view. And I do find myself looking in the rear view mirror a little bit too much. Okay, 0.6 ahead now. Ollie out front, Greg White and number 1 pops second and third. It's looking pretty tight up front. Just doing my best to try and stay with Holkey at the moment. It's still 0.6, so we're trading tenths at the moment. Holkey with a dip of a wheel in the gravel there. .4 now. Just taking a couple of tenths out of him. Not enough though. Reaching up under braking. It's Casey getting on the power. Following him down the hill. Careful through here that we don't hit the barrier. Got down right tight behind me now. Looks like Dan has dispatched Borky. Borky and I, nothing in it. Dan's right behind and catching. He's gone too deep. Holkey and I both saw that coming. It's a little bit cautious in there. That's giving Holkey a good few tenths. A bit worried about knocking him off there. Need to be a bit braver. Oh, Dan's got me now. We got the inside here, he's going to have to follow me through. While I'm battling with Dan, Holkey's getting away. Oh, a double take on the accelerator there, that's going to hurt. Good old battle up front though. Greg, Ollie and number 1. Ken running out of time now. Holkey's nearly got a second on me now. Here's a second as we go into the last corner. Lost the slipstream. I don't think I'm going to be able to get Hulky now. Just 2 laps to go. It's Gr.x, number 1, and Ollie. Hulky in 4th. I'm in 5th at the moment, but I've got Dan behind me. And at the moment, since Hulky's managed to break the slip, he's just pulling away by a few tenths every single lap. So at the moment, we do not even look like we're going to be closing up on Hulky. At least not significantly. Oh no, I've gone too deep into that corner. It's good, that's thrown it at 1.5 seconds now. There's no way I can get 1.5 seconds back in the last lap. Well done, Hulky. Absolutely clinical, no mistakes whatsoever from Hulky on this one. Nice corner there too. Just watching and waiting for a penalty or a wheel in the gravel, but it's not coming. There's no touch of the wall there. There's no wheel in the gravel there. He's keeping it nice and smooth. I've got it back to 1.3, but it's not enough. I'm pushing everything at the moment. Got a half decent run out that corner. So we're closing down a little bit. It's going to be just over a second. But not enough. 1.1 I think on the line to Hulky. Well done, my friend. Oh, struggled a little bit with that one. Still, I'm going to be glad when I can reset my brake pedal back to where it should be at the moment. A little bit soft, getting used to it slowly. I still need to work hard on it. No such problem for the guys out front. Number 1 Pops, I think, was the winner for that one. Let's just save that replay, share it, as we always do, just in case there's any stewards inquiries. We've not had any stewards inquiries in the longest time, which is really, really nice. It'd be nice to get weird. Maybe we can't share it. Have I hit some sort of limit? Nope, uploading this time. Gr.x says, save that for some great side-by-sides. It did look like a really good race up front. I had a great race with Hulky, just couldn't close down on him. But it did look like some absolutely great racing up front. William, good evening. How are you doing? Michael saying, nice race, guys. It certainly did look like a good one up front. Your result, number 1 Pops, first, 57.266. Gr.x in second with a 57.050 and the fastest lap. And Ollie in third with a 57.249. But that isn't the whole story. The whole story is the time between them. Look at that. Gr.x, 0.476 behind number 1 Pops, and Ollie 499, just 2/100ths of a second behind. And then Hulky in 4th, I got 5th, Dan in 6th, Mitchell 7th, Galactico in 8th, and Borky in 9th. Your top 3 for that one, number 1 Gr.x and Ollie, and Greg saying that that is one to watch. Well, let's see how we go later on, see how much time there is. Maybe we'll have a nose at that one later on, the replay on that one. Almost a photo finish, says Ollie. And Dan says, super chat 2%. Well, super chat 2%. What have I missed? What have I missed? Oh, Ollie's saying 2-0 now. Oh, it's going to be, mate. There's no way I can keep up with you. You're miles too fast for me. Miles too much. Right, we're in the Suzuki Swift this time. So the Suzuki Swift, GR4 car around a track that I'm not very good around here. So, Ollie, if you don't win, if you don't make this 3-0, then there's seriously something wrong. Right. Oh, one of the things I do need to do is I need to start getting back into making a note of the people that are joining us from time to time. And I can see that Bumblebee Croyer is back in. So let me just pop him in for a taster. And where are we? Bumblebee Croyer. Bumblebee Croyer is one of the outlaws, I believe. So let's just put him in there as a taster. I'll just reduce that down there. Don't need that anymore. Need to bring that one back up. That's the one I want. So where are we? I've just got a little bit of admin to do. We're going to start the qualifier for this one at, well, start this one on the hour. Okay. So I think Mitchell's going to sit out of this one. Mitchell, you can stay in the lobby and spectate. Greg says, remember, turn right, don't follow me left. Oh, yeah, I remember we did that once before, didn't we? Oh, my gosh, that was funny. Yes, that was hilarious. That was funny because we are on the short track. Let me just go out very, very quickly. We came up here. We did turn one, absolutely fine. I was racing with Greg, absolutely following him. And then we both went to go left here, down there. It's like, what? I followed him. And we both ended up in a big old heap. We'll see how we get on with this one. Where are we? Okay, so we've got quite a lot of runners now. We've got Greg White, Gamer Dan, Wheels has joined us, Ollie, me, Hulky, Croyer, Borky, Number One, Galactic or Stiggy, and Mitchell is going to be watching this one. Right, let's get this one underway and we'll see how we go. So we've got this one, and then we've got the Nordschelife. And then that one around Sardegna looked really, really good. If I've got time, I might just have a look at the replay on that one and do a little commentary on that if I've got enough time. Did look good. Or maybe we'll throw in another race. We'll see what people want to do. Depends on the time. Got an hour. I think we're doing 10 laps around this one. Right. Got Ollie in front now. Let's see how quick he is around this one. Oh no. Well, that's not good. I don't want to be doing that. Oh, track limit penalty already. And another one. We are potentially not going to set a lap here, because we're going to have a penalty on this one. It's a 118. I'm going to get one flying lap in on this one, because this one will not count. Right, so we come down here. Let's just watch Ollie. He's breaking through there. We got another penalty. Oh, this is terrible. Where am I picking up all these penalties from? Right, we've got to get around. See if we can get another 2 laps in at all. Oh, somebody looks like they've spun it. So, game it down to 113.1 is what we're chasing. Oh, Ollie, a 113.0. It's really tight at the front with these guys today, I tell you. These times are incredible, how tight they are. Oh, nearly forgot where I was going there. Feeling that's another penalty. It is. This one's not going to count either. You've got to grab my way through there better. Whilst I'm enjoying these track times, these guys up front are really going for these fastest lap to see who can get away on pole. Got damage on the front too. You just stay out of the way of this car. Stiggy going through, he's got our second as well. So I'm not the only one who's struggling with penalties in this. We're going to be way down the order, because that one doesn't count. And this one will not count either. But I'll tell you what, up front, number 1 Pops has just popped in a 112.7. Game it down to 112.9. Ollie with a 113.0. It's really tight at the front. We will not get this around for another one, so we're going to be starting well down the order. Both Stiggy and I both taking a penalty there. I lost my way again. This is the final lap. It's not going to be quick enough at all. In the barrier again. But these times, oh Dan, oh it's changing all the time. Game it down went quickest. Then Greg White, Ollie's just snatched it back again. Changing all the time. 3 of them on a 112.7. Incredible at the front. Absolutely incredible. I was just watching there and it went Dan, Greg and then Ollie. Switch, switch, switch. Wow. And number one Pops is in there as well. The top four split by 7, well, basically 800ths of a second. That is stupidly close at the front. Hulky's only 0.6 off. Wills is 0.8. Oh, that is crazy close at the front there. Absolutely crazy, crazy close. Should I commentate this or should I race it? You let me know in the chat. I'll be back in just a second. Should I commentate this or should I race it? You tell me what I should do. I think I'm going to commentate this. It's going to be so tight up front. Ollie's saying 100% commentate. Well, you're going to say that anyway, because then you get one additional, you get another win over me. I know your game, my friend. Oh no, let's see how we go. Wow. So that is so close. You got Ollie with a 112.717, Greg White with a 112.776, Gamer Dan with a 112.780, out number one Pops with a 112.794, Hulky with a 13.3, Wills with a 13.5, and Stiggy with a 13.8. It's really close. Right, it is probably going to be a Brands Hatch one again, I think. What I am going to need to do is get out of the way of this. Where am I starting, left or right? I am going to need to duck out of this very quickly. Oh, it's going to be a fun race. 10 laps around here. Going to be a good one. To exit out of there. Yes, spectate, put on some details. Just missing the start for the moment, but at the minute it is Ollie that has got the advantage into the first corner. Greg White and number one Pops, and then Gamer Dan in fourth. Hulky just off the back, but everybody's together. Wow, look at these pictures, how close it is as we head down into the technical section. We're going to be going right. Then we go left and right. What's up with you, dog? You got yourself caught up under the chair again, haven't you? You donut. Oh, nothing, he just got his foot caught, I think. Right. Where are we? I think he's alright, he's just frightened himself. Ollie, he's out front. 0.4, half a second ahead. He's all right. I don't know what he did. Right. I think he's okay. I think he's all right. Right, where are we? Ollie, 0.7 out front. We got Greg is in second, 0.18 ahead of Dan. Dan is just 0.1 ahead of number one, as I'm just saying that. Gamer Dan looking for a way through the inside. Did he get it done? He did get it done, but is he going to be able to hold it? He's got the advantage as we go down the hill. So Dan just cementing first place at the moment. Greg White having to just tuck in behind for the moment. Number one Pops is in the mix as well here. Ollie got this one under control out front at the moment, as Dan is having to defend heavily from Greg. Oh, Dan's got a half-second penalty. That is going to hurt and should enable Greg to come through. He'll then have a clean run onto the back of Ollie. Where is Dan going to filter in after the penalty? I think that's going to cost him a good 2 or 3 places, which is going to promote Greg and number 1 up. Holke just off the back of this little group at the moment, not by much, less than a second. So he's going to get a slipstream up the hill as we go into lap number 3. Number 1 Pops just on board in 4th at the moment, trying to close up under braking. Emidan goes for the inside. Gr.x going for a long sweep around the outside. He does manage to stay ahead of number 1 just. It's all very close between these guys at the moment. Remember, the qualifying was super tight. And at the moment, as these 3 are battling, Ollie is having the opportunity to pull away at the moment. Number 1 taking a little look up the inside. Couldn't quite pull that off. He's had to tuck in behind Gr.x. Came down. Remember, has got that half-second penalty to serve. I think he's just taken that, dropped him down into 4th, almost into the clutches of Holke. So Dan is going to have to try and work his way back. That's not going to be easy around here. It's a tight, twisty circuit with not a lot of overtaking opportunities other than this area going up the hill. This section of the track, if you can get a good slipstream and try and get a run into the final corner or a sweep around the outside, as we saw Greg trying earlier on. But Greg is up front of this group at the moment, but 2 seconds behind Ollie. Ollie running away again in this one, but number 1 Pops, I was going to say, he's pushing hard. He's just got a nose in the front of Greg. Greg's got the inside. They're going to be side by side out of this one. Who is going to get the advantage? I think number 1 is possibly going to have the advantage. As we go down the hill, he's going to have the inside. Is Gr.x going to be able to hang it around the outside? He's now got the inside. It's outside, inside, outside. Number 1 Pops. Oh, just so close to the track limits there. They're side by side through here. I think number 1 just into the barrier a little bit. Greg into the barrier. He's got a big old slide. He's going to lose loads of places off of that slide. Just got to wheel into the gravel there and demoted a load of places. Just goes to show one little mistake and it will cost you badly. Gamer down with a half-second penalty again. So number 1 Pops is on it tonight, leading the way of this little group here. He is 3.5 seconds behind Ollie. So this group that are fighting, they are just letting Ollie get away big time at the moment. Dan with a half-second penalty. Number 1 Pops just tucking in behind. Gr.x behind. And then Holke's just off the back of this little group as well. Gr.x going for a move for the inside. It's going to be 3 wide into the first corner. It goes 2 wide into the first corner. Greg just trying to get up the inside of number 1. He's holding the inside line. They're going to come out of there neck and neck as they head down towards the technical section. Very difficult to go side by side through here. And it looks like, oh, number 1 is just going to come out ahead of Gr.x. Gamer Dan got himself up to 4th here, but he's got the penalty. Oh, number 1 heavily into the wall there. You could see bits of stone flying off the wall there as he went through, but still managing to keep in 2nd place. Gr.x 0.2 behind number 1, 0.6 ahead of Holke, who finds himself in 4th place now. Dan serving the penalty down into 5th. So the penalties really hurting Dan in this one. Meanwhile, Ollie is absolutely running away out front. He's in a world of his own in this one, as we've got a massive battle going on behind. 4 cars, maybe 5 cars in this one, as Wills is closing up as well. And how far behind Dan? Wills is now in the slipstream as well. And just behind, he's got Stiggy too. So could be anybody's for 2nd and 3rd for the second 2 steps of the podium. We're on lap 6 at the moment, but it is Ollie completely under control out front, going really well. He's now 3.5 seconds ahead of the best of the rest, that is number 1. Really going rather nicely. Greg 0.3 behind number 1 Pops, and he's got Holke all over the back of him at the moment. So Holke will be watching for any mistakes from the guys up front to see if he can close up. He is only 0.8 behind, but he's got Dan all over the back of him as well. You can see the gravel being kicked up as these guys are just pushing the track limits to get every single little bit of benefit from the corners that they possibly can, using all of the track and a little bit more right up on the curbs as they go through the tunnel and up the hill. This is where we can really see how close people are, and Gr.x right on the back of number one, almost pushing him up the hill here, saying, come on, let's close up on Ollie. They've got 3 laps to do. I lie, they've got 4 laps to do. We're on lap 7. So there is still time. Ollie could still make a mistake. However, the way he's racing at the moment with 2.7 seconds out front, looking unlikely. All he's got to do is put in qualifying laps, keep it on the right side of track limits, just keep it going in a straight line, and I think he's going to be fine. But number one Pops and Gr.x absolutely fighting to see if they can close that gap. Gr.x 1.4 ahead of Hulky at the moment, so Hulky has got his wing mirrors full of Gamer Dan at the moment, and then just behind I think Wills has got a half-second penalty, so Wills is going to, now he's caught up with these guys, he's going to drop back just a little bit. Hulky looks like he's going just a tad defensive there. Gamer Dan with a good slipstream as we go up the hill. Can Dan do anything with that? Wills is right in the slipstream as well. Are they going to bump draft? Are they just going to slip? There's nothing between these 3 as they go up into the first corner. They're almost driving as one. Amazing. Dan takes a look up the inside of Hulky. Hulky leaving room. Dan using all of the curb to stay out of the way. He can't quite get that move done. Hulky somehow comes out ahead, and Gamer Dan with a half-second penalty now. So Gamer Dan using all of the curbs and more to try and find a way through, but unfortunately getting a half-second penalty as well. So he's going to fall back with Wills, which will give Hulky a little bit of a respite. And can he close up on Gr.x in the closing stages? I'm not sure, as he gets a wheel out on the dirt there. That shows how hard he's pushing as well. But up front, it is Ollie 2.7 ahead. So number one is doing everything he can to close, but Ollie is keeping the gap at the moment to around about 2.5 seconds. You can see the Outlaw and Gr.x getting right up on the curb there to try and get on the power as quickly as they can up the hill. Gr.x just a little bit off the back of number one this time. Half a second, so not quite as close as the 3 that were behind. That does mean that there isn't the opportunity to bump draft and close up and work together at the moment. Gr.x does close up to 0.3 as we go into the first corner. Gr.x holding a tighter line, looking for a way through, opening up the corner. He's right in number one Pops' wheel tracks, pulls out just to have a little look, trying different lines through these corners to see if there's any way through, but not able to do that. And as number one Pops is now defending, that is enabling Ollie just to pull away again. So that lead gone out to 3.5 seconds. Just goes to show that if you can, oh no, number one Pops into the gravel. I'm hoping that that was an unforced error, but it wasn't. Gr.x and number one getting in together. I think it might have just been intimidation. Number one going so well, stoking up an awful lot of pressure from Gr.x. Looks like it was just an outbreak himself, just into the gravel, and now down into fourth, but cleaned up the tyres. Number one Pops is on it. Let's see what he can do. We've got a big old gaggle of cars now. Dan looking for a way through on the inside. He's got a half-second penalty, so he has got ahead of number one, but number one will come back through. So it is all changed, but it's no change at the front. We're on the last lap now, and it is Ollie some 3.7 seconds ahead of Gr.x, who is 4 seconds ahead of Hulky, and then behind it is anybody's race. Very, very, very close. These 4 completely together. They're still going side by side through the corners as the sun begins to set around Highway 1. And, well, it's hard to call. Very, very hard to call. I thought it was going to be a closer race, but Ollie did manage to get out front. And then once he was out front, the defending and the battling behind enabled Ollie to make a little bit of a getaway and a gap. Now 4.7 out front. Ollie is absolutely in a world of his own, and Gr.x has managed to break away with a 3.8, so nearly 4 seconds, whilst the guys behind are battling. But Ollie is going to come across the line to take the win in just a moment. lights ablaze. He's pleased with that one. Some 4.6 ahead of Gr.x, 3.6 ahead of Hulky. But Hulky's got wheels right on his back bumper as those two come across the line. Nothing between them. And just behind, Gamer Dan, number 1, 0.025, literally neck and neck as those guys came across the line. And then we've got Borky and Galacticor just bringing up the rear at the moment in their own race. Oh, Galacticor just heavy into the barrier as we join them. That is going to give Borky, I think, 9th place. Just waiting up, I think, for Galacticor. So those guys are going to come across the line together. Galacticor with a 1-second penalty as they come across the line together. Very respectful for 9th and 10th. Oh, but what a race out front. Good night, Rita. Thank you for checking in with us and saying hello. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gran Turismo, good evening. Your narration is super impressive. Is this a live race? Yes, these are all live races. All live races. I've loved to narrate these live. And this is actually happening as the race unfolds. I never quite know where I am, what I'm looking at. But absolutely fantastic racing there from the guys. Ollie way out front, commanding lead, but behind it was as close as you like. Right, I am going to, for this one, I am going to narrate this one as well. It's going to be around the Nordschleife. And I'm just going to give my back a little bit of a rest. Oh, Gamer Dan says it's a tie for fastest lap. Ooh, let's have a look at this one. Let's have a little look and see what we've got. So, Ollie, fastest lap, a 1:12.459, and the winner by some 4.5 seconds. Gr.x in second with a 1:12.494, and then Hulky in third with a 1:12.665. Wheels Racing fourth. Gamer Dan also with the fastest lap, a 1:12.459. Dan being hampered by the penalties in that one, came in fifth, but he does get the kudos of sharing that fastest lap with Ollie. I do love it when we get a tied fastest lap. Number 1 Pop's going really well tonight, but unfortunately he did have that off. Demoted him to 6th, Stiggy 7th, Croyer in 8th, Borky 9th, Galacticor 10th, and I was a DNF because obviously I was commentating. Your top 3, Ollie, Greg and Hulky. We are going to be heading off to the Nords for this one. Where are we? I'm going to load this one up. And I'm going to change this to 2 laps. We're going to go custom weather. Anything could happen in this one. So 2 laps now, guys. Not 1. 2 laps. And I am going to commentate this one because my back is good and I don't want to overdo it. And I'm enjoying, thoroughly enjoying the racing and thoroughly enjoying commentating. So you guys are going to have me commentating for another one around the Nords, one of the hardest tracks to commentate on because there's often a lot going on. So I'm going to have my wits about me on this one. And oh, no qualifier for this. We're just going straight into the race. And well, let's just see. I'm going to let the guys tick in, give them a few moments, and then we'll see when people are ready. Tom and Borky. Tom's just saying thanks for the good racing, mate. Looks like they had a good race at the battle. Borky and Tom, love that. Didn't see much of that whilst we were concentrating with the guys for the podium places. Oh, number 1 doesn't have the car. Do you want? I don't know if you can. It's 500,000 credits, Tom. If you want to go and get it, I'm happy to wait. If you want to go and grab it, if you do, just let me know in the chat and I will wait a few moments. Let's just so Hulky with a 3-second penalty. Sounds like a pit exit issue there for Hulky. Oh, we've got Gr.x taking a very interesting line across the grass there with the barrier. And Stiggy with a 3-second penalty as well. Mitchell's just going off to get it. Oh, Stiggy on the grass again. So I will wait for Mitchell to come back. Stiggy going the wrong way on the grass. Again, having some difficulties. Croyer just leaving the pits at the moment. A few guys getting caught out with the white line. You can see the white line. You've got to follow it around until it goes into the single, and then you can cut across. It does catch a lot of people out on this one. So as soon as people are ready, we will go and start racing. But as you can see, a few people having to be careful with the pit exit on this one. Oh, GT Tom is done. The Nord's not for everybody. Who have we got in this one at the moment? We've got Greg, Gamer Dan, Wills, Ollie, Hulky, Croyer, Borky, Stiggy. I'm going to be spectating this one. I believe that number 1 is going to sit out on this one. And then we will have Mitchell when he rejoins us. And then I will be commentating this one. Ollie in another pink car. I don't know what it is with the pink cars tonight, my friend. But he's going well. He's going to make it 4-0 because I'm not racing this one. But we've got Greg, Dan, Wills, Ollie, Hulky, Koya, Borky and Stiggy. Could be interesting with this one. Could be anybody's race in this one. Obviously, crashes, getting out onto the grass. Could be very, very interesting. Ollie said it will stay 2-0. You see, I've had to commentate so that I don't lose out. Right, we're going to start the race. It's going to be starting at past. It seems like a nice round time to start this one. Till tomorrow, yeah. I'm hoping my back is getting better day by day, which is good. So hopefully I'll be able to get back racing proper. I want to get back into the daily races as well. And I can't wait until I can recalibrate my brake pedal and get back to how it was, the proper feeling. But then, of course, I've got to get used to that as well. We shall see how we go. Right. A couple of minutes and we will get going. So let's just put some info on. So we have got Greg White is going to be in the green and beige coloured car, the SO Ultron car. Hulky is in the black, white and red car, still carrying that 3-second penalty. Gamer Dan in the Monster, the black and green car. Stiggy is also in a black, red and white, so same as Hulky, I believe. Croyer is in the yellow and white Suzuki coloured car. Whoa, Borky just going around there. He's also in the black, red and white. So we've got 3 of them in that same livery. Oh, 4 of them, because Wills is in the same one. This is going to take some watching because we've got 4 in the same livery. Mitchell has gone for the red and black. So thankfully we've got a different livery there. And Ollie, well, let's move on quickly. Ollie in the pink car. Very pink, that one. As he comes over the top, round the sweeping right-hand corner. And right, let's just have a look and see where we're at. It is 22:30. We've got Greg White, Gamer Dan, Wills Racing, Ollie, Hulky, Croyer, Borky, Mitchell, Stiggy. Those are your runners. Let's get this one underway. It's going to be a banger. It is 2 laps around the Nordschleife. And we'll see how we go. Oh, Ollie's going to try and keep it up all year and see what the total is. Oh, that will be sad. That will be sad, Ollie. You are so much faster than me, my friend. All right, let's see how we are. Greg is going to lead us away from Gamer Dan and Wills Racing. Ollie in 4th. the rest are going to follow. It's a tight one into the first corner. Hopefully they will all get through it. We are on the Nordschleife. We haven't gone for the Nurbergring Grand Prix track. And Greg just pulling out over to one side at the moment. So that is going to put Dan into the lead initially. Greg White is going to be looking to try and come through from the back. He's down in 8th at the moment, just ahead of Hulky, who is in 9th. And where is Hulky? They're all together there for the moment. So Greg is going to be looking to come through from the back, but at the moment it is Gamer Dan just ahead of Ollie by half a second, and then 1.3 back to Will. So the front two just gapped by 1.5 seconds to third at the moment. And Wills is in a little bit of air on his own at the moment, 2.5 ahead of Mitchell. Mitchell's 0.1 ahead of Stiggy, who's 1.1 ahead of Greg. Greg trying to come through, so Greg already up into 6th place, just ahead of Borky and Hulky in 7th and 8th. Up front, it is Ollie now 0.1 behind Dan. These two locked together as we get into the right-hander before we go down the hill. Can Ollie do anything under slipstream through here? Very difficult unless you can get a good slipstream into the right hand, into the left hand. I've got to try and remember all the corners here. We sweep around to the right. This is the hard braking zone to get this slowed down. You can get out onto the concrete on the inside of that corner, but you've got to be careful of track limits and getting reset and all sorts of things. So everybody keeping it nice and clean there. Ollie just having a little look on the outside. We're going to go side by side into the right-hander. Oh, sorry, left-hander. Another left-hander, and Ollie's just tucked in behind, just 0.3 seconds behind at the moment. There's not a lot between these guys as he makes a move for the inside, and he gets that one done. What a beautiful move that was. Dan just left enough room there, and Ollie put the car up the inside and just slipped that one through. But Dan right on his back bumper, not going to let this one go. There he is. He's got the slipstream. He's got the inside, but can't quite make that move done. Gamer Dan half a second behind now. So Ollie's just managed to pull a little bit of a gap out at the moment. But I have a feeling that things will ebb and flow a little bit as we go through this one. Dan 3.6 seconds ahead of Wills at the moment, who is 3.5 seconds ahead of Hulky. So Wills in a little bit of air on his own at the moment in third. He is the final podium place. The sun beating down at the Nordschleife, beautiful conditions. No worries about any weather at this moment in time on this 2-lap race around this iconic circuit that many of us love. Croyer is just 2.5 seconds behind Hulky, or just falling back by a few tenths then. Looks like he might have had a little bit of an off moment, but Croyer on the back of Borky now. So Borky's found his way up into 5th place with Croyer right on his back bumper. Can Croyer make a move up the inside? Borky defending nicely. Croyer looking for a way around the outside. That'll be audacious if he can make that move, and he can make the move done. Just balls across to close the door there. Lovely move from Croyer. He's now going to be chasing down Hulky. Hulky 1.7 seconds down the road. Greg was coming through the field, but he's in 8th at the moment. He's got Stiggy right on his back bumper. They are chasing Mitchell, who's 2.6 down the road at the moment. So Stiggy and Greg White bringing up the rear at the moment. And they are going to be chasing down Mitchell, who is 1.8 seconds down the road, but he's getting all over the curbs there. That's going to slow him down ever so slightly. Borky's 4 seconds down the road from these guys, but up front it is Dan, 1.1 behind Ollie now. So Ollie going well. Gamer Dan still finding time around this really tricky circuit to flash his lights at me when we jump on board with him. Leave those lights alone, Dan. Come on, let's get on the back of Ollie. You can't let Ollie have it all his own way tonight. Ollie's absolutely been on it this evening. We know Ollie is good around the Nordschleife. Dan also, Wills is also pretty good around here, but he's 10 seconds off the pace. So Dan and Ollie way out front at the moment. These two guys not making any mistakes as I say that. And Dan drops it. Commentator's curse. I was just saying that no issues for the front two. And as I say that, around Dan goes. That's one of my little Murray Walker moments. Just as we jumped on board. Oh, Dan, I'm sorry, my friend. Go on board with Ollie now. All Ollie's got to do now is just keep it on the track, facing the right direction. And it looks like Ollie is going to run away with this one again. They're making it easy for you, my friend. Making it so easy. Dan, I know he's going to be pushing, but with a 10-second deficit, nearly 11-second deficit, if Ollie can just put in some qualifying laps now, it's going to be very difficult for Dan to close that gap. Unless, of course, Wills can get on the back of Dan and they can work together. But at the moment, Wills is some 3.5 seconds down the road. So it doesn't look like Dan is going to get any help from Wills anytime soon. And Hulkie's 1.7 back from Wills, so it doesn't look like they're going to be able to work together. Everybody's got a little bit of a gap on them at the moment. Borky looked like that might have been a penalty there or given a place back. I'm not quite sure, but that's Kroyer going through. Greg and Stiggy are also likely to go through on Borky. And we've got Mitchell some way back, unfortunately. Poor old Mitchell struggling with this one at the moment. It's times like this when I wish that I was racing, because I would be at the back. Invariably, I put it into the barrier at some point, especially in the GR3 cars. But up front, well, Ollie does not necessarily have it all his own way right now. I don't know whether Ollie's had an off, but Dan has closed up 1.5 seconds now. I think Ollie must have made a mistake off camera, and that is enabled Dan to really close up massively. Either that or Dan is completely on it. Number one Pops, thanks for the racing tonight. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed it. More again tomorrow night. At the moment, it is Gamer Dan 1.4 behind Ollie. Dan setting purple sectors, so Dan has completely got the bit between his teeth now. We are on lap number 2. I think Dan certainly has unleashed the beast. Stop with the headlights, my friend. Come on, get on the back of Ollie. How on earth he can flash the lights and race as well at the same time? I haven't got a clue. Ollie 1.3 ahead now. So, oh, we got a change. So Hulkie's just done a move on Wills Racing. Just as we join them, Hulkie just getting a lovely little move done. You could say these two are teammates with the same livery. Hulkie just 0.2 ahead at the moment. There's little battles all the way through this one at the moment. Hulkie and Wills going well. Dan and Ollie out front. A little bit further back, we've got Kroyer with Greg right on his back bumper too. And a little bit further back, we've got Stiggy and then Borky. So a little bit of gapping going on there. But at the moment out front, it is Gamer Dan who is catching Ollie. Now, this is where things could start to get just a little bit interesting, because we're going to get to the technical section. Can Dan close up? And then it will be all about the long straight. We've got a long way before we get there. But I would imagine that Ollie and Dan are thinking about the long straight and who is going to be where. And then will it be who is the bravest into the final corner? But at the moment, Dan does need to close up just a little bit more. 1.3 between Ollie and Dan. Dan setting purple sectors yet again. Hulkie's 9 seconds back, but he has got Wills all over the back of him. Wills is just 0.8 of a second, so we've got a battle for first and second. We've got a battle for third and fourth. And then we've got Greg is coming through the pack still. He's now back up to 5th at the moment after dropping to the back twice. Stiggy 6th, Croyer 7th, and Borky in 8th, Mitchell 9th at the moment. Dan 1.7, so unfortunately Dan has lost half a second to Ollie. You can still see him, he's still there. We're going to get into the section of the track that I always struggle with, and where a lot of people, if you're quick around here, you can make up some good time here. So will Ollie stretch the gap, or will Dan be able to rein him in, or will they just maintain the gap between them? Dan still setting purple sectors. We'll just go on board with Ollie for the moment and just enjoy watching him circulate in the pink blancmange. It doesn't wobble like a pink blancmange. It's looking super smooth. It's looking nice and tight. Beautiful lines through the what's it there? The carousel. Carousel is the word I'm looking for. Ollie using all of the track beautifully. Just hooking up these apexes. Lovely smooth lines, these two. Ollie's just maintaining that gap to Dan. Ollie's setting purple sectors as well now. Oh, and just moving that time out to 1.8, so finding a couple of tenths of a second through there. Dan needs to just close this up a little bit if he's to make use of the long straight. Ollie's desperately going to want to keep Dan out of the slipstream. A little bit further back, we have still got Hulky and Wills locked in battle. Wills putting Hulky under lots and lots of pressure, and Hulky soaking it up beautifully at the moment. Again, these two guys going really nicely. They are some way back from the leaders, but they are battling for the last step on the podium as Wills gets a big sideways moment there, gathers it up beautifully, but that has unfortunately dropped him back a little bit. 1.5 seconds as he gets a little bit of air over the jump there. Hulky going nicely. Nice lines. Nicely controlled. Wills just closing up a little bit now. He's got it back to 1.1. So Wills just recovering, but he's pushing hard. He gets onto the grass there. He's pushing that hard. You can see the back end of that Suzuki just moving around. Sorry, the Volkswagen VGT. We're not in the Suzuki, we're in the VW. Come on, get it right, Mitchell. But Wills with a half second. So not only did he lose out with a grass moment there, but he's also got a half second penalty. Stiggy will have seen that, and Stiggy's only 4 seconds behind. So could Stiggy come into this one, because obviously the penalty gets served going down the long straight. We will rejoin our leaders. Ollie is 1.7 ahead of Gamer Dan at the moment. Can they do anything to close up? I don't think he's going to. I think this is going to be Ollie with another fine win this evening. He's absolutely been on it as Ollie. And he brings the pink car across the line. 2.5 seconds ahead of Gamer Dan, who gave it his best shot. Ollie was way ahead at one point. Obviously there was an issue somewhere that enabled Dan to close up a little bit, but Hulky's going to come across the line in third. Some 15 seconds behind, but he's got that podium place ahead of Wills. Wills giving it everything across the grass as well, and Stiggy just behind. So Stiggy closing up really nicely, just 1.6 seconds behind Wills. Going well. Croyer is going to come across the line in 6th. And then we've got Greg White in 7th. Just ahead of Borky. And then we're going to have Mitchell. He's going to be in 9th. Whoa, Borky's dropped it on the end there. That's going to let Mitchell through. Oh, no, Borky. Just as he often says, when I mention his names, panic sets in and he drops it. He's just dropped it. Oh, no, my friend. Mitchell does come across in 8th. We got time for one more. Does somebody want to throw out a combo that they would like to see in the YouTube chat? And I'll commentate one more race. You tell me what you would like to see. We will give it what for. What would you like to do, guys? What would you like to do? Let me just save the replay there. A lovely race. Always difficult to try and follow the live action around the Nordschleife. We did pick up a few bits and pieces. 1 or 2 thrills and spills. Oh, Mitchell wants to do the second combo. Go on, then. We'll do that and I'll commentate it. That was Sardegna. Go on, we'll do that one. We'll do that one again. Our TCSRL guest has called the shots. Ooh, we got Mount Panorama GR3. Ooh, 2 votes for that one. Ooh. Ooh. Right, Ollie. Ollie did win. I'm going to go with Ollie because he did win. And normally you go with the winner. So go on. I'll go Mount Panorama. I love Mount Panorama. Ollie in first with a 6:39.8. Gamer Dan in second. Hulky in third. Wills fourth. Stiggy fifth. Croyer in seventh. Greg in seventh. Sorry, Croyer in sixth. Greg White in seventh. And Mitchell in eighth. Borky in ninth. Your top 3, Ollie, Dan and Hulky. Right, Mount Panorama was the... We'll do 5 laps around here. And we'll set this to GL3s. And we'll do it straight into the race. Oh, the gauntlet has been thrown down. Ollie says, plus Dan is the king there, so need to dethrone him. Ooh, we've got a bit of a grudge match going on here, I think. Gamer Dan says, gauntlet is accepted. Dan, I hope you're doing okay with your ears, my friend. Don't overdo it. Do not overdo it, please. Right. So we are going to start this one. This one is going to start at 10:02. That will take me just slightly over my curfew, but that's fine. As this will be the last one tonight, my friends. And I am going to be commentating this one as well. What he's saying, let's have it. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. So what we've done now is we've moved from single make cars. The guys are going to be able to pick whichever car they want to do. So Dan's more motion sickness, but not too bad. That's good. Just don't overdo it, my friend. It's not worth it. Right. So Hulky's going to be watching this one. Greg White, Gamer Dan, Wheels Racing, Borky, Mitchell, Stiggy, Wheels, and we've got we got a Rasta Rick, whoever Rasta Rick is, he's joined. So we got Greg is going to be going in the R8, Dan is in the Beetle, no surprise there. Wheels in the NSX, Ollie's gone for the M6 Sprint model in the Row livery. Croyer in the Citroen. Okay, Borky's gone for the Beetle. Rasta Rick is in the 296. Mitchell is in the 911. Stiggy's gone for a Corvette. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Ollie has got to replicate the car on the shelf. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm loving that model. That M4, becoming one of my favourite models that I've got now. Absolutely adore that. Been after it for the long time, and it came up just before Christmas, and I thought, got to do it. I said that we'll be racing at 10. I meant 10:02, not 10 past. So, oh yeah, I'm all over the place again. Right, so we got Greg White, Gamer Dan, Wills Racing, Ollie, Hoyer, Borky, Rasterick, me, Stiggy. One of the things I am going to do very, very quickly is I'm just going to say hello to Rasta. I'm going to say welcome. Right, Ollie's just wishing Dan a good luck. Let's see how we go. Right, so let's start the race. As I said, Greg White, Gamer Dan, Wills Racing, Ollie, Croyer, Borky, Rasterick, Mitchell, Stiggy. Hulky's watching, I'm watching. Let's get going and see how we go in this one. I am spectating. Taking it easy at the moment, following doctor's orders. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm thoroughly enjoying commentating some of these races. And we have had some cracking races again tonight. So it is going to be Dan that is going to lead us away from Greg White. Ollie finds himself down in fourth behind Wills Racing and on the outside into the first corner. So it will be interesting to see if everybody gets through the first corner unscathed. Oh, Wills with a blinding start off the line. Threads his way between Greg White and Gamer Dan as if they were standing still. But Wills with an incredible reaction time there to jump into the lead. Dan has come through in second, Greg in third. It looks like everybody did negotiate the first corner without any trouble. But where on earth did Wills get that start from? I almost thought that was a jump start. Clearly it wasn't. He's got away with that beautifully. And Gamer Dan now looking for a way up the inside. Oh no, Wills into the barrier. He's thrown it all away. Just getting a little bit wide and onto the curb. Oh no. 0 to 0 time for Wills, unfortunately, as he finds the barrier. Dan 1 second ahead of Greg White now, who's half a second ahead of Ollie. So the gauntlet was thrown down and Greg White finds himself between the two racers. Now, can Dan do anything to get some distance between Greg and Ollie whilst they are battling? Ollie is going to really want to get past Greg and get onto the back of Dan if he can. We are going to be going down the long straight in just a moment, so Ollie needs a really good exit off this corner. Greg defending, he's got a nice exit, so Ollie will get a slipstream around down here, but Ollie's got Croyer behind, 1.2 seconds behind. He's 0.6 behind Greg, so he will get the slipstream, but unfortunately the slipstream is really not doing much. The Audi pulling away ever so slightly on the on Ollie behind in the BMW. BMW looking a little bit slow down the main straight there. So I don't know whether that was just exit speed between Greg White and Ollie, but Ollie losing out ever so slightly. Dan now 1 second ahead of Greg. So Ollie finds himself 1.7 seconds behind at the end of the first lap. So lap 1 of 5 completed. Oh, we've lost Croyer. He's disappeared. Rasterick, for some strange reason, seems to have gone for intermediate tyres. I don't know if he was expecting some rain, but we certainly don't normally get that around Mount Panorama. I suspect that may well be a mistake on the part of the mechanics. So either the strategist or one of the mechanics is potentially going to get fired, and he finds himself in the pits. So Dan, half a second at the moment ahead of Greg. It's ebbing and flowing between half a second and a second at the moment between these two as we go up and over the mountain. And Ollie just finding himself still 1.5 seconds behind the leader as Greg gets heavily into the wall. That is going to allow Ollie to sweep around the outside. Greg very respectfully holding the inside line there, so didn't get in the way of Ollie. Ollie now ahead of Greg, and he can now see his adversary in front. And well, that lead has just evaporated. I don't know whether Dan has had an issue. or whether Ollie has just found a turn of speed. But there is nothing between the two. Ollie now looking for an overtake as we go down to the bottom of the hill. Ollie is going to have the inside at the very end, although Dan will have the inside for this corner. Can Dan do a undercut? Is Ollie going to go too deep? No, of course he's not. It's all going to be nice and clean and tidy. Dan possibly looking for a move down the outside. That's going to be very audacious if he can pull that one off. Nothing between these two. The gauntlet has been thrown down and Ollie has managed to hit the front from nowhere. A real turn up for the books. Although Dan is saying, you're not going to have it your own way. And he hits the front. Greg looking for a way by as well. So it looks like Ollie's had a poor first corner. And that has let Dan and Gr.x through. It could be the slipstream that did that, because it is still very, 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 very close. But Greg just getting up the inside, using all of the curb. Dan using all of the exit curb. Ollie using all of the exit curb, just managing to hold on to second place all the time. Dan is just out front. Ollie having to defend and attack at the same time. Gr.x just falling off the back a little bit in the Audi. But we know the Audi is pretty slippery down the long straight. So will Greg be able to close up? Will Dan and Ollie be able to stay out of the walls as we go over the top of the mountain? They're going to be hard on the brakes as they go underneath the Audi sign. We've got the left, we've got the right, we've got the left. All looking nice and clean and tidy at the moment. We're going to get the tight left-hander and then we're going to go down the hill. They need a good exit here. Ollie needs a blinding exit, as does Gamer Dan. Ollie, if he can get a good enough exit, will get the slipstream down the hill. He's 0.4 behind, but it looks like Dan got a good enough run. I think he's going to hold it to the bottom of the straight. It will then all be about the braking zone, then the long chicane. And can we get Greg into the mix as well? Underneath the Armour All Bridge. Dan with the upper hand at the moment in that Beetle. He does love the Beetle. He knows exactly how to race that Beetle. But Ollie loves the BMW as well, in the beautiful low row livery. And these two locked together. Greg with a front row seat, but unfortunately not quite able to do anything to close up at the moment. He's 1.6 behind. Borky's going really well in fourth here. He's 8 seconds back and he's 2 seconds ahead of Stiggy in fifth. Mitchell going well in sixth. Wills in seventh and Rasterik in eighth. And out front it is still Dan and Ollie. These are the two that we are really watching at the moment, although I think Greg, Borky and Borky's just a little bit back from Greg. So Greg is on his own at the moment, 2.5 seconds. He's not able really to close up on these two leading cars. We're on lap 4 of 5. So this is going to come down to the wire, I think, as we go down the hill. These cars submarining under braking, where the front just wants to dig into the tarmac, and the racers just hope that the cars will rotate and the tyres will hold. Dan taking a tighter line through there. Ollie going a little bit wider, trying to get onto the accelerator just a little bit sooner. The Gamer Dan, that Beetle so fast off that top corner and down this long straight. Ollie's just not really able to close up. He can close up towards the end, but it's not enough. Dan just doing enough out of that top corner. Oh, Dan almost parking it on the apexes there. Going super defensive. And Ollie and Dan side by side. Ollie, is he going to come out in front? They're side by side into the last corner. They're going to come across the line together. Oh, Ollie with a big old slide under power. Does manage to somehow squeeze through to take the first place. Now, is that strategic? Is Dan going to look to close up on Ollie, and then he will have the advantage down the hill? We know that the Beetle is quick off the top corner, down the long straight. Can he use the slipstream into the last couple of corners to get the win, or is Ollie going to manage to bring this one home? Ollie has been on it all night. Dan is trying to manage motion sickness as well. He's not a well man at the moment. You wouldn't think it for the way that he's racing, and he's done a lot of racing tonight. This is the end of, well, they've been racing for 2 hours, so I imagine he's probably starting to feel it now, but he's just a second behind Ollie. Ollie needs to have a really good section over the top of the mountain. He needs to hook up these apexes, stay out of the walls. Dan needs to do the same and just close up a little bit. This is going to be the telling corner coming up in just a moment. Will Ollie get a good exit? Will Dan get a better exit? Will Dan be able to pick up a slipstream? Dan has got a lovely exit. Is it enough though? The time is coming down. 8.4, 8.3. Sorry, 0.83, 0.80. It's going to be 0.7 in a moment. I think Ollie has potentially managed to do it. Hard on the brake in, getting it turned in, watching for those apexes. 0.9 of a second. What a battle between these two. I know that we've been focusing on these. The gauntlet was thrown. I have a funny feeling that Dan is going to be dethroned here. A rare occurrence. Dan very, very good around Bathurst, but Ollie on it tonight. And he comes across the line 1.004 ahead of game of Dan. Greg White in third. Borky's going to come across in a fine fourth, with Stiggy just behind to come across in fifth. And Mitchell going well, flying the flag for TCSRL. He's going to come across the line in sixth in just a moment. A little bit further back from Stiggy, but again, going really, really, really well. Oh, Dan says, no, my controller died on the fourth back straight. No! No, 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 no! Oh, Ozzy, good evening! He says, good day, mate. Now, this is a real track. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Ollie thought something went wrong. Oh, one-on-one rematch, says Dan and Ollie. Do you know what? I'll get into trouble. Do you want to do a rematch? Ollie, Dan, give me a double thumbs up if you want to do a rematch. Oh no, Dan with a... I hate it when you get a technical failure. I really do. Game it down with a double thumbs up. Oh. Let's just take that one away while we're waiting to see. You guys will get me shot. Right. I've just got one quick thing I've got to check. I'll be with you in just a moment, guys. Right. It's fine. Right. Okay. We're back. Oh. Right, where are we? Where are we? Okay, Koki, right. So that one, Ollie was first, Dan second, Greg White third, Borky fourth, Stiggy fifth, Mitchell sixth, Rasta Rick in seventh, Wheels Racing in eighth, Choir with a DNF. Right. Let's go. Right. Race is going to start at 8 minutes past. And we'll go one last one. Oh. Get this one underway as soon as we can. Hulky's going to watch again. No head starts. You're going to have to. I should put you to the rear and have you come through the pack. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. So it is 8 minutes past. So what have we got? We've got Dan, Ollie, Greg, Wills, Borky, Rasta Rick, Tiggy. Let's get this one underway. Good luck, guys. Hopefully this time, Dan's equipment will hold and we'll get a proper race. So Ollie did get the last one, but let's see what happens in this one. We've got 5 laps as we did in the last one. So it's a complete rerun and we'll see how we go. So Dan is going to lead Ollie away. Gran Turismo, thank you for popping in. Catch you a little later. Dan's plugged in this time. So no more issues with that one. Let's see how we go. Right, who is going to come out of the first corner? Wills with another blinding start. Well, we're going 4 wide, I think, into the first corner. Oh, Wills finding the grass again into that first corner. He's dropped to the back again. Oh, Wills really struggling with that first corner around here. He's got no luck at all tonight. And Dan hitting the front. He's got his controller set up and plugged in this time, so no worries. And he is hitting the front, but Ollie wants to make sure that he can get through into second place. He's put it up the inside of Greg White. Oh, Dan all over the curbs there. Ollie taking a much more conservative line, doesn't want to risk it on the curbs. The BMW, I know, can be a little bit leery on the curve through there. You can very often find it gets sucked around. So Ollie taking it super careful as we go up and over the top. So half a second between the 2 rivals as we go over the top of the mountain. Hard on the brakes, down through the squiggly bit. We've got a car off on the grass there. Was that Greg? I'm not quite sure who that was across the grass, but it looks like it's all good. They are still running. Greg with a half-second penalty. But out front it is Dan from Ollie by half a second. Now we know that the Beetle is quick down the hill. Is there anything that Ollie can do to close the gap? Oh, he's got a better run down the hill this time. So that's different to the last race. Ollie really closing on Dan at the moment. It's going to be pretty much next to nothing as we get to the bottom of the hill, and they're going to hit the brakes. They sweep around to the right hand side. Oh, both on the brakes at the same time. That Beetle just getting a little bit squirmy. The BMW looking like it was a lot nicer planted. Ollie takes a little look up the inside. He feigns a move. He tucks in behind Gamer Dan to pick up the slipstream. we come down to the first corner. Ollie right the way over to the right hand side. Gamer Dan just moving a bit of polystyrene out of the way. Not only is Gamer Dan out front, he's got time to clean up the track as well. My word. Ollie in a slipstream, heading down towards the first corner. Gamer Dan keeping it right over to the left hand side. He wants the inside. He's going to send Ollie around the outside. Not really an opportunity to get an undercut here or switch underneath. It is what it is. I imagine that Ollie's going to need to tuck in behind, and Dan will just lead his way up and over the mountain. And I would imagine that Ollie's just going to be looking to stay in touch and then just see if he can make a move down the long straight. No real overtaking opportunities through here unless you are feeling very, very lucky and one of the other cars gets into the wall or makes a mistake. You can go side by side, but it is extremely dangerous, and I can't imagine either of these two are going to want to do that, as Ollie punches in a nice little purple. And we're going to just go down the hill here. We're going to get the tight left-hander. So Dan taking that typical tighter line, Ollie sticking to his wider line, hoping to try and get on the power earlier and see if he can use the slipstream. There's nothing between these two, and you can see the time. It's ebbing and flowing. Ollie's just in the slipstream now. I don't think it's going to be enough. Dan might have to go a little bit defensive when we get to the bottom of the hill here. But he is going to be on the inside. I don't think there's any... Oh, I was going to say I didn't think there was any way that Ollie would be able to get around the outside, but very, very late braking and managed to get that move done. I think that probably caught Dan unawares. I thought that Dan had that one covered, but somehow Ollie just managed to stick a nose in there and get that move done. Gamer Dan not having any of it. He's going to try and get back up and underneath into the first corner. He's done that beautifully. He's got that Beetle beautifully positioned. Ollie just getting it up onto the curbs. Dan having to take a slightly slower line through there as he left room for Ollie. Ollie's going to get the inside for this one, so this is ebbing and flowing here. You can hang it around the outside here, but it is difficult. Oh, Dan with a beautiful move at the end of there. Ollie just having to tuck in at the end there. Dan had his car beautifully positioned. I think he was thinking about that one all the way down that straight, and just got that nicely done. Ollie with a big slide there. Oh, we get the two of them just into each other there. Ollie just squeezed into the wall as Dan's car there just got a little bit of a squirrel on. Ollie not liking that. His lights blazing. He's right on the back of Gamer Dan. I don't know how Dan is actually doing this with motion sickness and the hearing problem that he's had. He's been racing for a lot tonight, and we've pushed it for one last race, and they are just 0.4 of a second between them. I do love Mount Panorama. I'd love to be racing this one, but I've got to take it easy at the moment. And I tell you what, the other person that's going really well, and I'm loving this, is Borky. Borky is in third with Greg White right on his back bumper as they go down the hill. Borky in the other Beetle, but it looks like the Mercedes, massive amount of grunt. He's going to get the run down the hill. Greg White has got that done. Can Greg do anything about closing up on the two guys out front? Borky with a beautiful line through there as Greg gets it all up and over the curbs. And then just behind we've got Wills, Rasta Rick, and then Stiggy just bringing up the rear in the Supra. But up front is where we are at for this one. This was the Gauntlet, this was the grudge match. And it is Gamer Dan just ahead of Ollie at the moment by half a second. Dan holding the right hand side of the track. Ollie looking for the slipstream. As we go down into the tight right hander, they're going to be looking for the braking points. They're going to be burying the brake pedal, hooking up the inside of that curb. Be careful not to go out too wide on the exit. And then we're going to be heading up and over the top of the mountain. So it's uphill through here. Nice and tight and twisty. Want to be rubbing the walls, but without actually catching them. Inch perfect. These guys go really, really nicely. Oh, Ollie with a bit of a slide there. Gathered it up nicely. No such drama for Dan. He's looking pretty smooth at the moment. Hoping the commentator's curse doesn't kick in this one. Down the hill hard on the brakes. This is where it's really tough on those brakes. Balancing the brakes and the power and the steering. It's can be quite the dance as you head down the hill. And then everybody's thinking about this last corner before the long straight. Ollie taking a slightly different line. He's followed Gamer down through that line now. So not taking the wider line. He's gone for the tighter line, staying right in Dan's wheel tracks. And not a lot between these two. The Beetle just got the edge on the BMW, even though the BMW is closing slightly under slip, not as much as one would have expected. Dan covering the inside beautifully, picking up the apexes. Oh, Ollie with a lovely line through there. Dan going to the inside. Can Ollie get round the outside as we go into the final corner? Dan just picking up the inside of the curve. That shuts the door on Ollie. Ollie going to try it for the undercut here, possibly. Is it going to be a switcheroo into this one as they bury the brake pedal? Dan taking the inside line, leaving room on the outside, but Ollie cannot find a way through. Ollie tucking in behind Gamer Dan. Dan's going to have to go defensive into this first corner. Going to be hitting the brakes just after the grey patch. Can Ollie get around the outside? Can Dan hold the inside and get the power down as we go up the hill? Or can Ollie sweep around the outside? It looks like Ollie might have got around the outside, but has he gone a little bit too deep? Oh, it's side-by-side action. Deep respect from these two. It looks like Ollie has just managed to squeeze through on the final lap. However, Dan is going to have a slipstream down the hill, so this is going to be a super exciting finish here. There's nothing between these two. They're nose to tail, 0.25 of a second between them. They're going to be hard on the brakes, turning it, looking for the balance of the car, hoping those tyres grip, hoping it turns, hoping they can get on the power quickly, hoping they don't stay in the walls. Fingers crossed, toes crossed. Hopefully they haven't got their eyes crossed, because they're really going to need to watch where they're going. But at the moment it is Ollie who is 1 second. Oh, he's got a bit of a slide out the corner, but I think it's enough. Oh, Dan has got a run on Ollie here. He's 1 second back. So Dan has got an awful lot to do as we head down towards the bottom of the hill. I think that Ollie's got this one done. Ollie's been on fire tonight. All credit to Dan. Dan does have hearing problems. He's got some motion sickness issues. So how on earth he's continued to race all of these races tonight? But Ollie wanted to unseat Gamer Dan. And I think that this is going to be an unseating, and one that we will come back to another day. I have a funny feeling we're going to be doing Bathurst tomorrow. Oh, I got a funny feeling that the two boys are going to be asking for a rematch tomorrow as well. But at the moment it is Ollie just half a second ahead of Dan at the end of that one. Maybe tomorrow night we'll lead. We'll do a warm-up, second race, Bathurst. What say you? Ollie congratulating Dan. Gamer Dan congratulating Ollie. Well done, Ollie. Wow, that was some race. Gamer Dan saying, I'm officially dethroned. Oh, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. Oh, I tell you what, he'll be back. He'll be back. If I remember, tomorrow night, second race, Bathurst. See what happens when Dan is a little bit fresher. We shall see. But Ollie's on it at the moment. Ollie has found a turn of speed in Gran Turismo 7 just recently that has been wonderful to watch. Right up there and racing really, really well. How these guys aren't A+'s, I do not know. Gamer Dan and Ollie, you really ought to be A+ by now. The result, Ollie with a 2 minutes and 4 seconds dead. I love that. Look at 2:04.000. Gamer Dan just 0.4 behind with a 2:04.401 in second. Just half a second behind. And then Greg White in third, some 12 seconds back, showing how quick Ollie and Dan are around here. Greg is very, very, very quick, but in a lovely little battle with Borky with a fine fourth, Rasterik in fifth, Wills in sixth, Stiggy seventh, and those were your runners. Ollie with a fine win and a fastest lap. Loving the livery. Good to see the M6 on the top of the podium there, but I have a funny feeling that Gamer Dan may well have something to say about that tomorrow. Should we run it again tomorrow, or we'll have to see? We'll have to see. Loving it. Maybe we should put them both in the same car or something. That could be interesting too. Ooh, my mind is going. Right, guys, I am going to wish you well. I am over my curfew, so I do need to call it a night. Thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you for everybody that has liked and subscribed this evening, in particular those of you that like the video. It really does help. If you haven't already, please smack the like button. Thank you to everybody that's raced this evening, that's contributed in the chat, and absolutely loved the racing and the commentating. I'm hoping to do a bit more racing as we go through the week, but at the moment I'm still just being a little bit careful and easing myself back into it, and but loving the commentary right now. I do absolutely love them, especially when you get super fast races and close races like we have had this evening. Right, I'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Not sure that I'm going to get on before because I don't want to overdo it. I will be back with the daily races soon. As soon as I'm well enough to give them my best shot, I will be back with the daily races. Haven't looked at PMR. We've got to get back into that one as well at some point, but I'm concentrating on Gran Turismo 7 at the moment. So just watch this space for what I'm doing, but I will be back at 9 tomorrow for some more lobby racing. In the meantime, have yourselves a good morning, evening, night, afternoon, day, whatever you're doing. Have a great one, and I will see you again very, very soon. Take care. Bye.